Coming up this morning on DITV, we tell you all you need to know about today's City Council elections.
And later, we talk to a UI professor who experiments with old and new medical techniques.
We take a close look at how the Hawks got it done against Ohio State this weekend.
And we give you one women's basketball player's comeback story.
Will these cool temperatures stick around? Find out more in weather.
All that and more is coming up.
DITV starts now.
Good morning and thanks for tuning in to this live Tuesday edition of Daily Iowan TV. I'm Noah Gowdy.
And I'm Mackenzie Cooper. Today is election day for the Iowa City Council. 3 seats are being voted on in today's election. 2 of them are at-large seats. The 3 candidates running for the at-large seats are Kingsley Botchway, Mazzari Sali, and Angela Winicki. The other open seat is for District B. The 2 candidates running for the seat are Ryan Hall and Susan Mims. The polling places open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. To find your polling place, go to the Auditor's Office website. If you haven't registered, you can do so at your polling place. Tune into tomorrow's edition of Daily Iowan TV when we will have political reporter Cole Johnson in the studio to show us the numbers. And be sure to check out the print edition of the Daily Iowan.
Simpson College in Des Moines is trying to ease the burden of paying for college on students. It was announced yesterday that the private college will be offering free tuition to low-income Iowa freshmen beginning next year. College officials discovered that the institution was lacking low to moderate income families in their enrollment. To qualify for the new program, prospective students must follow these 4 guidelines. The students must come from a family that makes less than $60,000 a year. They must complete a FAFSA form. They must also plan to live on campus and pay for room and board. And finally, students must pay the difference in tuition hikes that may occur during their 2nd through 4th years. This initiative was also created to help Iowa students graduate with less debt. Currently, the average is just under $30,000 or 19th in the nation.
With the university's medical reputation only growing, one University of Iowa professor is looking to mix old medical knowledge with the new. DITV reporter Christopher Cervantes has more.
While most students at the University of Iowa know of the modern-day medicinal schools on campus, many are unaware of the old-school medicine being studied right in the Jefferson building. Assistant Professor Marcus Berry teaches courses in ancient medicine and classics here at the university.
I'm looking at science that was developed at the court of Greek kings who lived in areas around the Mediterranean world, probably in about the year 200 BCE.
Professor Berry claims that he stresses the importance of classical medicine because of its influence on not only modern medicine, but also ancient and modern cultures as a whole.
I'm interested in how new ideas formed in the past and what the ethical practices of medicine in the past might have to say to today's medical practices as well.
While Professor Berry finds that it is important to see how ancient people thought, he believes that it is more important to properly communicate it to modern masses so that the ideas and theories can be applied in today's society. With many minds waiting to be molded, he has ample opportunity to do that here. Reporting from downtown Iowa City, this is Christopher Cervantes, DITV.
Well, Kenzie, the weather sure has been cooling down lately, and it sure does feel like it's starting to become winter.
Yes, definitely, and with those colder temps comes snow. So let's toss it over to Susanna in the weather studio to find out if snow is on the forecast anytime soon.
Yeah, today will feel slightly warmer than yesterday. Currently it's about 37 degrees, but we'll see it warm up to a high of 46 as we reach the afternoon hours. Tomorrow the high will increase again to 48 degrees and we'll see the sun come back out. Let's look at our 5-day forecast to see what we can expect for the rest of this week's weather. Unfortunately, the temperatures will cool down on Thursday and Friday to the mid-30s. Thankfully, on Saturday, the temperatures will warm up as we are expecting showers throughout the day that could have been snow if that cooling pattern had continued. And the temperatures will continue to warm back up through Sunday and into next week on Monday with a high of 48 degrees. Stay warm out there, Hawkeyes. Noah and Mackenzie, back to you.
Iowa City's title as UNESCO's City of Literature is directly linked with the history of the University of Iowa's International Writing Program. For 50 years, this program has brought over 1,400 writers from 150 countries worldwide to spend 3 months at the university. DITV News reporter Ethan Gutstein has the story.
Located on Clinton Street, the Shambaugh House is the center for many of the program's activities. There are many rooms that provide entertainment, such as the main first-floor space used for lectures, speeches, and presenting each other's writings. So this is the library in the Shambaugh House, where many of the international writers come to hang out and do their writing. Founded by notable American poet Paul Ingalls, this program lets foreign authors experience Iowa while American authors experience other countries as well. The program director Christopher Morrell has found success in communicating and learning from international writers.
It's always illuminating. It really gives me a bigger grasp of what it means to be alive these days.
Iowa City UNESCO City of Literature Executive Director John Kenyon thinks very highly of this program.
It has kind of taken on a life of its own. It's something, certainly, we as an organization would fight for it if anybody ever thought that it was something that didn't belong here in Iowa City. It's become an institution.
No luck writing a short story, but I definitely do feel inspired being in this room. Reporting here from the Shambaugh House, Ethan Gutstein, DITV News.
I'm sure you were aware that there were national championships for college football and basketball, but did you know that there's a national championship for college spirit squads?
That's right. It was announced last week that our very own Iowa Spirit Squad will be heading to the national championships in January. To qualify for competition, the teams had to send in a highlights video from the previous year. The Iowa cheerleaders, dance team, and our very own Herky the Hawk will compete in Florida for the national title, and they've got some big shoes to fill.
That's right. Last year, the Iowa dance team placed third in the Palm Division. Herky's been away from the Nationals for a while, but placed fourth in the Nationals back in 2014. The Iowa Spirit Squad will be hosting a send-off show in early January to showcase their Nationals routines. Well, January is coming in pretty soon, but we had some Hawkeye sports in action this weekend.
Yes, and Iowa football wasn't the only team playing, so let's toss it over to Will and Nicole to get an update of Hawkeye sports from this weekend.
Yeah, I know, with everything going on this week, it seemed like there were 1,000 sports, but it was just the big Iowa win there, and then we had some other stuff going on as well. It was a busy weekend here.
Yeah, and the volleyball team welcomed another ranked opponent to town.
It was a fun matchup on Sunday when the volleyball team took on number 22 ranked Purdue inside of Carver Hawkeye Arena. Purdue was able to strike first as they took the first set 25-20, but Iowa bounced back in the second set.
The Hawks were trailing 16-11 before going on a 14-3 run, thanks to Claire Sheehan and Kelsey O'Neill, who each had 3 kills to take on a second set.
Yeah, it was another tightly contested battle in the third set as there were 9 ties and 4 lead changes, but the Hawks came out on top, which was Claire Sheehan's kill that secured the 25-23 Iowa victory, and the Hawks took the match lead 2-1.
On to the fourth set with no surprise was another close one on the entire way through, with another score to 24-24. Purdue scored 2 consecutive points to force the fifth set.
But in set number 5, Purdue got the early lead and never trailed as they stole the match back from the Hawks, defeating Iowa 3-1.
Thought we were really effective and aggressive and kept a great true mental toughness attitude all the way through, and we got to the fifth set and just kind of flattened out. The tight games like that is what we preach to our team all year long, right from the beginning of preseason all the way till now, which is we are going to be in tight match moments with the best teams in the country, and that's what the Big Ten's all about, and we just are still looking for ways to finish that off, and we need our go-to players to step up, we need our pass and serve game to be so lock solid, and just lots of things that we can look at and say, well, we can do it better.
The Hawks will be back in Carver this weekend to face the #1 team in the nation when Penn State comes to town. And we will all know Iowa pulled out the stops against Ohio State this weekend, clobbering the Buckeyes 55-24.
Yeah, no one will soon forget Nate Stanley's performance, but just in case, the LA Iowa TV's Bo Bowman has more on Stanley's stellar game.
You play best when you're having fun. Fun. Just one word used by Iowa quarterback Nate Stanley in the biggest game of his career, a game that proved he had the leadership skill to turn this football team into something great.
His stats, his game, it speaks for itself. We love Nate. He put the team on his back as he should, and we followed him.
Followed him all the way to the most important place on the football field. The end zone, where Iowa's quarterback Nate Stanley was able to connect with his receivers 5 times, becoming only one of 2 quarterbacks in Iowa's history to throw for that many touchdowns in a game.
I think we wanted to be balanced all game, and we came out and did that pretty well. And I think it just comes back to how well the offensive line prepared all week, and they did a great job all game, and they just came out and executed super well.
Not one to take much credit for himself, but Iowa football always gives credit where credit is due.
He did a lot of really good things today against really good competition, so that was impressive. And I think probably my favorite play is the one where he's got the guy bringing him down, and he finds a way to get the ball in the end zone there for a touchdown.
And it's games like these that add confidence to the sophomore quarterback.
I think as the year's gone on, I've definitely felt a little more comfortable, in the pocket, and have more trust in the offensive line. And the last couple of weeks, they've had great practices and played really well. So that builds confidence in me too.
Who will never forget the night the Hawks stunned Ohio State.
The happiness and joy on each other's faces is pretty special.
From Kinnick Stadium, Bo Bowman, DITV Sports.
Stanley is the only second Iowa quarterback to throw that many touchdowns in a game. The other one is Chuck Long.
The women's basketball team was back in action this weekend for their first game of the season, and we saw a familiar face on the court. Natalie Iacopetti gives us more on one player's inspiring return.
Junior Tanaya Davis had a strong comeback onto the court after her season ended in February last year when she tore her ACL in a game against Michigan. At the Hawkeyes' first opening game, she had a starting spot and had about 28 minutes on the court with a total of 12 points. Coming off 8 months without playing a single basketball game, Tanaya Davis brought a lot of confidence and energy onto the court for the Hawkeyes in their first home game against Minnesota State Moorhead.
Just to see that go down and just to get my confidence back and just get back in the flow of a real-life game situation, it was amazing.
She brings a lot to our team, experience, confidence, swag. She's got a little bit of it all. Her offensive ability to pass, handle the ball. We're hard to be pressed when she's on the floor with Kathleen.
I have a lot more confidence than what I had coming in. I mean, I was very excited coming in, but now I'm just ready to go.
That she can guard the ball really well. She can pick up the ball and hawk it really well, bringing the ball down the court.
Just to see that go down and just to get my confidence back and just get back in the flow of a real-life game situation, it was amazing.
The Hawkeyes' next game is at Carver Hawkeye Arena at 5 p.m. on Friday. Reporting for Iowa Women's Basketball, I'm Natalie Iacopetti with Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Tanaya Davis and the rest of the team will be back in action for their game Friday against Quinnipiac University.
Be sure to check back in tomorrow for updates from Iowa football's press conference.
And for a closer look on one basketball player's journey to the court season. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, guys. And before we go, it's no question that Iowa's performance on Saturday was something nobody has ever seen. With a historic win in the books, many people are beginning to view the Iowa football program a little bit differently.
That's right, and somebody who nobody ever expected to get on board with Iowa is radio host Colin Cowherd. Cowherd has been known to constantly bash the program, continually calling us the fake ID of college football.
But just like Iowa's new performance comes a new opinion from Cowherd. After the game, he tweeted, "Iowa turned 21 today. It looks like Iowa gained another fan after that impressive win."
And that'll do it for this edition of DITV. Stay up to date on all news by checking us out on dailyiowan.com and by picking up a copy of the Daily Iowan. I'm Mackenzie Cooper.
And I'm Noah Gowdy. Thanks for watching and have a great day.